So here's a short story about a husband and father who just found out that his buddy's wife was planning to cheat on him. And how did he find out? Because long story short, his wife knew about it. Turns out that his buddy's wife and his wife are friends, and his wife is aware she's planning on cheating on him. Right now, the Winter Olympics is going on, and his buddy's wife decided to go there. She's 42 years old, and she's been working out for months and doing this with the plan of getting a hotel near where the male athletes are staying, I kid you not, and hooking up with them. And I can joke around about that later on, I will, but the point is, this guy now knows his wife knows about this and doesn't have a problem with this. And that is now questioning the big picture. And I'll be going to go over here, guys, making the point that if your girlfriend or wife knows about one of her friends or somebody that's cheating and has no problem with it, massive red flags, a parade of red flags. Because guess what? She's covering up for her. That friend could be covering up for her. And that shows you her attitude in cheating, and it could be a lot of bad things happening to you. You need to question things and, frankly, end it. Titled, My Friend's Wife May Be Cheating at the Winter Olympics, and My Wife Knows. And a shout out to Chris for sending this in. He says, I'm 54 years old, and I have a friend who's 57, who is married to a younger woman who's 42. About 15 years or so is the gap. They're both my friends. As far as I know, they both love each other. They've been married for almost 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. I can't tell any more details, as we belong to fields that would identify us immediately, given how said professions are known for cheating. He says, think popular TV shows and saves lives. Okay. To make things easier to tell, I'm going to call my friend Andrew, his wife Claire, and my wife Anne. Claire, his buddy's wife, went to the Winter Olympics Wednesday. I knew about it because she invited my wife, but Anne wasn't interested much, though Claire kept messaging Anne on how excited she was and all. This Thursday morning, I overheard Claire talking to my wife. She was on a loudspeaker as Anne was preparing lunchboxes. Again, Claire is the cheater, Anne is this dude's wife. Claire had just arrived in Italy, and she had booked herself a hotel that was near the athletes, and that she couldn't wait to sample the menu. Normally, I wouldn't think anything of it. It could be some expensive hotel food. However, Anne immediately rushed over to disable the loudspeaker and talked to Claire in a hushed tone. Okay, that says something. Clearly, this dude's wife has known about her plan for a while now. Well, this made me suspicious, and I looked at Anne, who started looking guilty and quickly ended the phone call. Unfortunately, I had to drive the kids to school, so I told Anne that we would talk about it after I got home. I got home a couple hours ago. It was 7 p.m. right now as I'm typing this out, and I'm feeling all sorts of disappointment, anger, guilt, emotions I cannot explain. I managed to drag everything out of Anne. At least that's what she told me. Now here's the details about this whole thing. He says here, well, Claire booked 2 hotels. One hotel where she told her husband, Andrew, where she'd be staying, and one near the athletes for the intention of trying to sleep with as many athletes as she could. Apparently, Claire is getting hit with some midlife crisis and has started exercising, buying new clothes, and learning new makeup techniques in preparation for the Winter Olympics. Anne told me that it was Claire's last hurrah of sorts before menopause started. Anne hurriedly reassured me that she did not think Claire was right at all, and she has spent the last few months dissuading Claire from her plans. I'm going to say the obvious. If you guys haven't thought this already. Okay, let me paint a picture here. The Winter Olympics. You have top Olympians, men, primarily in their 20s, with female Olympians probably in their 20s, late teens, 20s as well. You think they're going to be interested in some 42-year-old chick from America who's having a midlife crisis before she starts menopause? I don't think so. They're going to be hooking up with the other athletes once they're done their competitions and they're just hanging out to watch the events. Maybe some of those chicks are manly, but the point is probably a lot better looking than the 42-year-old. Get the fuck out of here. Now, she's remotely pretty. Of course, guys will pretty much bang anything, but give me a fucking break. But putting that aside, this wife has known for a while, and I don't think she's doing anything to dissuade her. Bullshit. She would at least be telling this husband here. And if she's okay with it, major red flags. That probably she cheats too. He says, however, the deception has run deep. There was an initial plan that Andrew and the kids would be with Claire at the Olympics, but somehow Claire managed to dissuade Andrew by influencing the kids to not to go. Since the kids wouldn't be joining, a parent had to stay home. Claire managed to guilt trip Andrew because even if she was a professional like him, she willingly gave up her career to take care of the two kids with special needs. So she manipulated the kids not to go, and therefore he had to stay home so she could go. This is all part of her plan. Do you see how slick they can be? And not to mention booking 2 hotels, one to throw him off and one near all the male Olympians. I'm sure that wasn't a cheap hotel. Andrew didn't force her, as far as I know. Andrew is a good provider, and almost 100% of his income goes to Claire for budgeting and management. Smack! That's a stupid idea. One of those husbands, huh? Just hands the paycheck over to the wife, or deposits in his bank account, or the joint bank account, and she handles everything and just, gives him a few bucks here to go have his fun for beer. That's dumb. And he earns a lot in his field of work. He's also one of the kindest people I've ever met. He's not ugly, though he is what he jokes as vertically challenged, a thing he's never worried about. Okay, he's short. Claire is taller than him, and he is a soft-spoken kind of guy. Often, when I see them both, it's Claire that has passive-aggressive remarks to sometimes borderline insulting him while there are other guests around. And he adores his children. He often goes home early or takes weekends off to take care of the kids and to give Claire a break from child care. Hear that? She disrespects him, but worse yet, in public, in front of other people. That is the lowest level of there's a lot of low levels of disrespect, but in public, What does that say? Her actions say about him? About her? She didn't love him, obviously, because she's cheating on him. Well, I have 2 dilemmas in this situation. How do I tell Andrew about his wife possibly cheating right now in Italy? Possibly? What do you think is going on here, man? They're both my friends. Unfortunately, I don't have any evidence and deleted their conversations while I was away. They were using some sort of app and she uninstalled it. I checked her phone. So much for telling me everything. Dude, number one, this chick's wife, your buddy's wife, he's your number one priority, not her. She ain't your friend. And would you want to be friends with and defend someone that does something like this? No. That brings me to my second dilemma. Anne says she's not condoning the possible cheating, but her actions say otherwise. Now I'm wondering if Claire knows something about Anne. I can barely recognize the woman I married. Anne hates cheaters, especially when a few of her relationships ended because her boyfriends cheated on her. I'm not sure of her words now. This revelation has me questioning my relationship with my wife. I shudder to think that Anne may be confiding things to Claire, and they're both covering up for each other. Ding, ding, ding. I'm feeling guilty because I feel like if I broke the news to Andrew, Claire might know something about Anne, and I don't want my relationship with my wife to break also. I'm feeling guilty because I feel it's selfish reason not to tell Andrew. Dude, you have to tell Andrew, for goodness sake. And yeah, things may come out about your wife, but you know what? You want to be in ignorance? You really want to be with some wife that's cheating on you? Or has no problem with others cheating and helping a friend cover it up? You're not that guy. I hope not. I've told Anne that if she wants to regain my trust, she cannot tell Claire that I know. But my trust in her right now is at the lowest possible in our married life. I'm also preparing myself for anything that Claire will do and possibly that Andrew might resent me for not telling immediately. I'm not prepared to learn new things about my wife and the possibility that it will affect our children in the future. I don't know. This all feels heavy right now. I think I need to think this through. I think you need a beer, dude. That's what I think you need. And talk to a lawyer. You got to tell your bro. Okay, he may be pissed off at you and hurt and not want to hear that, but he needs to know. Absolutely, because at the end of the day, once his anger or hurt subsides, he'll recognize you were trying to help him. And if he doesn't, fuck him. You need to tell him. Bros before hoes, and believe me, his wife's a hoe. This is not a joke. This is all on purpose. She's doing that. And as for your wife, you can't have a relationship, let alone a marriage, without trust, and you don't trust her. And her actions have proven that she's deceitful, and she's known about this for a long time. And, by the way, she deleted that app that you can look at. That says a lot. So it's time that you do some serious soul searching about your marriage. And I get it. You got kids. The last thing you want is to go through a divorce, put them through that. But do you really want to be with someone that could do this? Usually when someone, from my experience, and the countless stories I've covered, if you got a girlfriend or wife that's covering up for another friend and they know they're cheating and doing all sorts of things, guess what? that friend is probably covering up for them too. Really. So I definitely think we're going to have updates here. But anyhow, guys, there you go. Bros before hoes. And you got to take care of the guys. And it is amazing the lengths gals will go to cover things up for their friends. Your girl's doing that, it's time to seriously consider ending the relationship.